Magnetic fields stretch further back and couple together. The magnetic rubber band breaks, and gas from the solar storm streams along the magnetic lines towards the poles on the night side. This is the nighttime aurora.
The auroras, a cosmic splendor across the night sky, part 1 of 2. Keep on watching to find out more.
I've been vegetarian my whole life, vegan for years. Help the world. I try. Billie Eilish, vegan.
Earth-loving viewers, welcome to Kuchi'en. I just said God bless you in Lakota Sioux, a regional variety of the Sioux language. I'm Nakota. The spiritual people from the Sioux Nation wish that everyone will soon adopt the vegan lifestyle that protects our planet and its co-inhabitants. Welcome to part 1 of our 2-part series, The Auroras, a cosmic splendor across the night sky. Our precious planet manifests countless spectacular events every day. The auroras, or northern and southern lights, are such examples and are among the most majestic cosmic splendors ever witnessed. A few hours after the night falls, and when the occasion is right, translucent clouds of lime green, purple, and golden colors can brighten up the entire polar skies. These glowing lights dance and flow constantly in the shapes of curtains, arcs, and rivers. At one moment, they are hardly perceptible. At the next moment, they shine vividly, forming breathtaking celestial panoramas. American science writer Louis Young compares them to a firelight flickering on the ceilings of the world. Scottish poet David Vedder calls them the rush of 10,000 rainbows. The northern lights are called the Aurora Borealis, and the southern lights the Aurora Australis. Usually, people living close to the Earth's poles have a better opportunity to see the auroras, and those who live close to the equator will need to travel to see their spectacular display. That was what TV host Charles Woolley did. To bring auroras to his 60 Minutes Australia show, he traveled to Norway to have a date with the diva of Northern Lights.
On the night of my first date with the diva, I was stood up. She was a no-show. It's the first time I've ever seen anyone dig a hole in the snow in order to light a fire. It's 20 degrees below, but no one's going to let a Northern Lights opportunity pass. So in fact, you're telling me that the Northern Lights are always there, it's just we can't see them.
Absolutely. So every single day the Northern Light oval is around the polar region. And here in Norway we are far north, so we'll always see it as soon as it's clear.
But soon our attention was taken from the fire on the ground to the fire overhead. It is simply staggering how quickly the Northern Lights can, as if by magic, start raging across the sky. What a night! My date with the diva was unforgettable.
Auroras have been a theme in human history for millennia. The first depiction of the aurora dates to around 30,000 BC in the cave of Rouffignac in France, where a ceiling painting depicts the bright swirling patterns of the aurora. The first textual record of the aurora was written in 2600 BC in China, noting that Fu Pao, the mother of the Yellow Emperor Xuanyuan, saw intense lightning moving around the northern dipper. It illuminated the whole area. In 1619, Italian astronomer and physicist Galileo Galilei coined the term Aurora Borealis after the Roman goddess of the dawn. Long before him, the auroras had inspired a diverse collection of myths, legends, and arts. For some, the lights carry particular spiritual relevance even today.
Many Swedes thought that the Northern Lights were a gift from the gods, providing light and warmth from a volcano to the north. Some thought they would herald a good harvest in the coming year, the belief held by native communities in Finland that the lights were caused by a celestial firefox which ran so fast across the snow that its tail kicked up sparks into the night sky to shimmer in the aurora. The Finnish word for the Northern Lights, revontule, literally means firefox.
For some indigenous cultures, the lights mark a special visit.
They represent our ancestors. Those that have left us, they went home. So those are spirits. That's why we say, Kanimito, check, the spirits are dancing.
For thousands of years, the smartest among humans could only guess the source of the lights. This drawing of 1570 AD envisioned the northern lights as huge candles in the sky, burning beautifully above the clouds and the stars. What charming visualization! In 1790, English natural philosopher and scientist Henry Cavendish developed a method of making quantifiable observations of the aurora. Known for accuracy and precision in his research on the composition of the air and density of the Earth, Cavendish used the triangulation technique to determine that the aurora is produced in the upper atmosphere about 100 to 130 kilometers in altitude, or 60 miles above Earth's surface. He was basically correct. Although today we know that the aurora can occur as high as 1,000 kilometers or 620 miles above the Earth.
Vegan, how else to show our Buddha nature?
Enlightened viewers, we'll be right back after a prayer for a benevolent vegan world. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our show, featuring the magnificent splendor of the phenomenon of the aurora. The celestial display of auroras during the past centuries inspired great fascination among scientists and nature explorers. According to modern science, all auroras begin with solar activity. As this NASA video explains, several billion tons of plasma are hurled out from the sun when the solar storm occurs.
The solar storm can reach speeds over 8 million kilometers an hour. After 18 hours, the solar storm reaches Earth. When the solar storm reaches our planet, something strange happens. An invisible shield, the Earth's magnetic field, deflects the storm. The magnetic fields couple together and create a funnel for the gas streams down on the daylight side of the pole. This is the daylight aurora. The magnetic fields stretch further back and couple together. The magnetic rubber band breaks, and gas from the solar storm streams along the magnetic lines towards the poles on the night side. This is the nighttime aurora.
The foundation of the current understanding of the aurora was first laid at the beginning of the 20th century thanks to Norwegian scientist Christian Birkeland. A professor of physics at the University of Oslo, Birkeland led several expeditions to the Arctic Circle. He and his team braved the fierce polar winters to collect magnetic field data. Finally, the cause of the northern lights was discovered.
Christian Birkeland, he had a theory that was charged particle from the sun that was sparking the northern lights. Of course, nobody believed him, and he had to make his own experiment to try to prove his own theory. So he made this Tyrrell experiment, a very famous experiment. It's a vacuum chamber. He pumped up all the air, and he put the Earth inside there in metal sphere, and the magnet inside there again, and bombarded it with particles, electrons. Actually 3 years before they knew the electrons existed. But he managed to create the artificial aurora you can see here, and this is actually his original box that's still in Oslo at the Technical Museum. He also saw it was similar lights on the southern hemisphere.
It would take another 60 years for the world to acknowledge the importance of Birkeland's work. His incredible discoveries have been forever immortalized on the Norwegian 200 kroner banknote.
And you all see in the picture of Christian Birkeland because he's on this bill. And the whole story about the Northern Lights, you can see here, the Northern Lights behind his head, the Big Dipper, the pole star in the right position, the ice crystal because we have climate here, and the Tyrrell experiment. And the other side, you can see a map, and it shows actually the Arctic region. You can see the magnetic pole, and around the magnetic pole, you will see the Northern Light oval, and the Birkeland current to the right.
Welcome to the concluding episode of our show, The Auroras, a cosmic splendor across the night sky. Through science, we learned that the glorious display of northern and southern lights tells a fantastic story of the relationship between the sun and the earth taking place in the high atmosphere. In today's world, the technology of spacecraft, satellites, high-quality cameras, and computers have significantly changed how we can observe auroras. A popular topic of space science and plasma physics, the aurora is now chased not only from the ground, but also from space through lenses installed at the International Space Station and other spacecraft. NASA's spacecraft can also obtain insights from within an aurora by taking short flights into them as they take place. In a sense, we become more familiar with the diva of auroras, though a diva is by nature mysterious. For example, space weather forecast tells us where we may see auroras and why they occur.
Now take a look at this view from NOAA's space satellite, their satellite that looks at the sun, that impressive explosion of that hot energized plasma coming off the lower right lobe of the sun there. Now in the worst storms, we'd be concerned about interruptions to perhaps satellite service, GPS, maybe your satellite TV, even cable TV, cell phone service, but also watching for a brighter side. Those beautiful auroras get pushed further and further to the south, and that's what's in the forecast tonight.
Science tells us the auroras display the activities of charged particles from the sun in the atmosphere after they enter the Earth's magnetic field, which is where the brilliant colors originate from.
Eventually, the density will increase, and they will start colliding with atoms and molecules in the atmosphere. And then it will actually transfer some energy to each of those atoms, and they will actually start glowing in the dark. And some atoms will then emit the red light, some will emit green light, and some purple, and so on, depending on the speed of the particle hitting them.
When the particles bump into oxygen in our atmosphere, the reaction makes green and red light. When the particles bump into nitrogen in our atmosphere, it makes blue and purple light.
The mysterious shapes of the aurora continue to intrigue us all. Recent research offers an explanation of why there are necklace-like aurora beads before auroras start to dance.
They found that when particularly large streaming clouds of plasma from the sun reached Earth's magnetic field, they created buoyant bubbles of plasma behind the planets. Just like a lava lamp, the buoyancy between the bubbles and heavier plasma creates fingers of plasma about 2,500 miles wide that stretch down towards Earth, creating the distinct pearl necklace structure in auroral beads.
Besides the aurora's magical dance, does it also produce sound? For one, English naturalist Samuel Hearn has described it as a rustling and crackling noise. Let us hear an example of sound produced from auroras according to recent scientific research. Amazing, isn't it? As the charged particles from the sun collide with molecules of oxygen and nitrogen in the air, the collisions generate light. But as these particles move along Earth's magnetic field lines, they also create a natural radio signal. UK scientist Caroline Crawford talked about this in a lecture.
When you see aurora, very low frequency receivers can turn those signals to sound. And there are all kinds of other signals. There's one called the dawn chorus, which sounds like little birds tweeting. You get all these kind of radio signals for the interaction from the solar wind and our magnetic field.
Earth is not the only planet with auroras in the solar system. Auroras also appear on Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Scientists believe that as these planets have their own magnetic fields, they have their own auroras. Auroras make magnificent displays of light in the physical space. They also carry a particular spiritual purpose. Science and technology provide us with an understanding of the physical processes behind the magnificent auroras. However, the spiritual story of the northern and southern lights remains largely untold. On several occasions, our most benevolent Supreme Master Qinghai Vegan has spoken about the existence of advanced humans who inhabit the undergrounds of planets such as Mars and Earth. Not only is their spirituality at a level higher than our world, but also their science and technology. For example, the underground people of the Earth invented a sun for underground living, an advanced type of energy, and the northern lights. If an aurora is magical, underground people of the Earth are the unexpected magicians. on June 26, 2020, while sharing her spiritual diary with staff members of Supreme Master Television at a teleconference. Master illuminated the reason the underground people of the earth invented the Northern Lights.
That's 15th of June, huh?
Yes, Master.
Next one. I wrote something about the light in the North Pole, Aurora Borealis. I just wrote it here at random, because I saw it on TV in some of our shows, yeah?
Yes, Master.
Sometimes they introduce the country and then they show this light, Northern Lights.
Yes, Master.
I saw it, so I wrote it here. A green light or Northern Light at North Pole is from underground people's technique.
Oh, wow.
To confuse the direction of adventurers in case any want to go there. They will be lost and could not find the entrance to their abode. That's why they put the lights there, because it's not just the light, it has energy, understand?
Understand.
Confusing your mind. Very few people can find the underground because the entrance, they put something to make you, even if you found the entrance, you could not enter, yeah?
Yes, Master.
And you could not find the entrance, your mind become like confused. It's just like some gases make you sleepy or relax.
Yes, Master.
Some dentist office, they have different kind of gas to put you at ease, yeah?
Yes, Master.
Yeah, similar. This kind of light is a deterrent to the intruders. I don't blame them. The way we are on the surface of the earth, I wouldn't want anybody to visit me either.
Understand, yes.
Yeah, just bring trouble, sickness, sorrow, fighting and war and stuff, yeah?
Yes.
Everybody's afraid of us. I don't blame them. They'd rather live underground. I don't imagine all that fun living under the ground, though.
No, Master.
You think living underground is cool?
No.
Yeah, it could be more dark, but they make their own light, their own sun, and they make their own energy. So it's bright enough.
At a conference with Supreme Master Television staff in January 2009, Supreme Master Ching Hai spoke in detail about the people living underground.
There are about 5 million of them and scattered in all over the earth, under the ground, in different countries. They are very advanced in technology. Therefore, they can live underground without any problem. They are vegetarian, very spiritually oriented, and very gentle people. They have such a high tech that they can hide their entrance, that nobody can find it. Nobody can detect it, because they want to be safe from the above ground humans. And the underground human afraid of the above ground human. Can you believe that? They like to be by themselves because they know what we are here. They prefer to be in peace, and in spiritual environment and lifestyle. Is not much like us here, They like to live more in accordance with the law of the universe. Yeah? Loving, peace, and coordination between each other, helping each other. They like to live within that framework of harmony and peace and spiritual atmosphere and endeavor. They don't like to contact us. They don't like our lifestyle.
Hello, Master. Is there any connection between the underground humans and the Mars people?
No connection. They are different people. They came there in the beginning due to spiritual oppression because they were not freely practicing what they believe. They also practiced quantum method. And they were oppressed and driven, and persecuted. So they had to hide themselves underground. And ever since then, they developed themselves into nations, communities, and they're self-sufficient, happy, contented, and their lives are simple and frugal. So they don't want to come back up here, ever since long time, many generations already.
We sincerely thank our most beloved Supreme Master Ching Hai for this precious revelation. What an alarming gap in terms of wisdom and morality between our own human race and the advanced people living underground on Earth. We pray that the worldwide Aurora chasers take the majestic display of the Auroras as a reminder of our spiritual and moral distance from advanced humans. We pray for our fellow above-ground humans to be vegan, make peace, and build a loving and benevolent world.
Vegan, have no heart to harm.
Thank you, brilliant viewers, for being with us today. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for Shining World Award for Noble Film, the team who produced Eating Our Way to Extinction. May you be blessed abundantly with God's love and protective energy of the universe.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/SS.